Hello everybody and welcome to the fourth Advent of Code video. So let's see what have the organizers prepared for us today. Okay, today we will be assigning sections in a camp. Each section has a unique ID number and each elf is assigned a range of those section IDs. But the problem is that some sections overlap. And our goal will be to find the overlaps. So the input file will look like this. So we always get a pair of assignments. And as we can see, the first two, the first one has no overlap. So the intervals of sections are inclusive, so it means that it includes both the start and the end number. And so as a result, we can see that there were overlaps on the third pair and on the all the pairs except for the first two are overlapping. Yeah, our goal is to find the assignment pairs where one range completely contains the other. So this one, and so those are the two pairs, and we will need to count the number of those. That seems pretty easy. So let's see. We'll create a new console project for day 4. Day 4. Create it. And as usual, I will just copy the basics. So input file, which I will replace by, for now, the simple sample from here. And secondly, I will just do launch settings to say day 4.1. And let's see. So we will be reading the input line by line, and we will just count whichever match our requirements. So result, we'll have 0 at the beginning, and while we can read a line, it's string line. Okay, we don't need this. So we will split the line by comma. And now each of the intervals we will store into a tuple. So let's make a simple method, start and read tuple string assignment, and it will just essentially split the assignment by dash, and then we will return the parts, and we will just parse those two numbers. So we will return int parse interval parts 0 and int parse interval parts 1. So now this way we will get the interval as a tuple, and we can now use this sorry, And we will now use this here. So read tuple. Well, let's rename this read interval. Makes more sense. So interval 1, read interval, assignments 0, so the first one, and then the second one. And now that we have them, we will just check if they do or do not overlap completely. So if 1, so we need to compare. So there are two options. The first interval starts before the second one and ends after the second one. So that's exactly what Copilot suggests. So start less than or equal to second start, and just for readability, I will do it like this. 2 and oh, there was something different. So and greater than. This is not really the check that we want. We want something else. So interval 2 and is less than or equal to interval 1 and. So this checks the first condition, that interval 1 is larger than interval 2 and overlaps it completely, and we need the second option as well. So we need, maybe now this will be correct. So interval 2 start is less or equal to interval 1 start, and interval 1 end is less than or equal to interval 2 end. So this condition is now enough for us, and we'll increase the counter, and finally we'll write to the output file the result. So result to string, and let's run it. So let's see what happens. We should have the number of 2 in the output file. Oops. Oh, I launched the wrong app. We need to launch this one. Okay, the output file contains the number of 2, so that's the correct answer. And now we will use the big input file. So the big input file, paste it here, run it, and the result is 571. So let's see, is that correct? And it is. Okay, so we have the first part of today's puzzle, and let's see the second one. So now our goal is avoid any overlap. So not complete overlap, but any overlap at all. So number of pairs that overlap at all. So the first 2 didn't overlap, and the remaining did. So this is really just a simple adjustment to the logic that we have implemented so far. It's just a little bit expansion of the logic there. So we'll do a new app, day 4.2. And I'll copy paste everything because it's really very similar. So you don't have to make a big fuss about it. Day 2 and okay, so now you just need to adjust this logic here because we need to see if there's any overlap. So there was a very simple logical expression to check for interval overlap, but I don't remember exactly what it was, how it worked. So I can just do it simply like, so if interval 1 start less than or equal to interval 2. So if okay, start or end, that's it. So if the second interval begins okay, like this, could it be like this to start? Could it be this or not? So we're checking if the first interval starts before the end of interval 2. So this checks that interval 2 doesn't end before the second one begins, the interval 1 begins. And then we check at the same time if interval 1 ends after the start of interval 2. So it means that we exclude the option where the interval 2 is starting after interval 1. And if we exclude these two options, if we exclude both of these options, it means that the second interval must be somehow overlapping interval 1. So this is this handles interval 2 overlap. And now, does it handle all the cases? It actually might, because there is this should exclude all the non-overlapping things. Well, let's see. Let's see if it will work. So I will run it just to test it. Oh no, that's the wrong file. We need here. I'm not completely convinced that it's correct, but we'll see. Oh, it was correct. So yes, so our logic excluded all the cases where the interval 2 began before the start of interval 1 and or ended. Well, I mean, let's see once more. So ended before the interval 1 start, or started after interval 1 start. So when we exclude all of these cases, we will get all the possible overlaps, because it means that they must have some kind of overlap somewhere. So this logic is actually enough to verify overlaps. Okay, so we have solved this. So this is another day of the Advent of Code solved. So far we have a great score of 8 stars, and it seems that the puzzles are becoming harder slowly. So we will see how it will continue with the day 5. So for now, have a great day. Enjoy the remainder of the weekend, and see you in the next Advent of Code video. Bye bye.